I think the choice is very easy. If you are given two options, one is being object of a joke, and another one is being stabbed, I think everyone would prefer to be object of a joke. Like I wouldn't think twice, because a joke takes 10 seconds, that's it. If I'm stabbed, maybe I end up in the hospital, maybe I'm not going to make it. So throw me all the jokes. It's all good. It's all good. So it's part of the culture. It's fine. Why do you think that drives anti-Semitism as such? Because it's kind of specific hatred towards groups, and there's hate toward other groups, like Gypsies are hated, Americans are hated, I don't know, French are hated, Chinese are hated, Russians are hated, Jews are hated. The Jews, I think, are hated in a different, fashion. What drives anti-Semitism, like universal level, in your opinion?
Look, I need to be humble here and say the pure fact that way smarter and bigger people than I am couldn't answer your question. So how could I? I can spin my own take on that. I really think the more time I spend in this sphere, the more I feel that it's really driven by jealousy today. But back then, in the medieval ages and even before, it's really easy to hate what we don't know. And something controversial that once I posted about, and I got so much shit. And I called out the Jewish community for not knowing your own history is not to be blamed on me. Here is what I'm talking about. I have a master's in Jewish studies, and at one of the courses we did learn actually how a medieval Jewish history, it was not so bad for the Jews, even though everyone says it was the Dark Ages. It was not. And actually the Jewish community started. They had the shtisels, so like the little villages that they created for themselves, and they put the lock on it before they got locked in. So what it means that they wanted to keep their heritage. They didn't want intermarriage. They didn't want, to lose their mishpacha and family and traditions. So they created these communities within the cities. And then because this was super odd for everyone else, obviously they got picked on. That's how bullying in high school starts. The little bit different you are, everyone is on you. And so when I pointed that out, people were like, oh, so you are blaming the Jews for anti-Semitism. I said, I did not say that, but it is part of history. And you need to understand, you did nothing wrong. You wanted to protect your own heritage, but that also drove a natural psychological reaction from the people who were not Jews, that they looked at you as, oh, you are the odd one. Obviously, the blood libels and everything, came up as a bigger manifestation of this. Oh, look at the odd one. But so to answer your question, it's really hard to say. As I said, smarter people than I cannot really explain. Everybody has different opinions. But today, I definitely think that Israel's strengths, Israel's beautiful missions and the way they operate and interact with others and as a country and both as individuals drives a lot of anti-Semitism, even under the pretense of anti-Israelism or anti-Zionism. But again, if it's anti-Israelism, why are you killing and hitting the Jews in America? So, obviously it's anti-Semitism, and it's a lot of jealousy. I mean, most of the argument you get, oh, Israel is so rich. Well, Israel made itself to be something, and everyone has the opportunity, especially today. It's a free world, go do better. So that would be my short answer to you, that today it's definitely a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a factor. Like, probably there are a few others, but I would agree with you 100%. I think the jealousy is a huge one because, like, let's be honest, most of us, the vast majority of us, at some point in our lives felt bad when the neighbor was doing better than we are in the current moment. Like we hate to see the neighbor's Ferrari when we are driving a Fiat, simple like that, right? And the best way is to understand, is that your race? Like, I don't even have driver's license, like when it comes to cars. So I know you just bought a car. I know, just bought a car. So congratulations, by the way. I bought a house, so I have something. So
congratulations. And you really don't have a driver's license?
No, I don't have a driver's license, which was actually going back to the dating topic, that was something that I always put up front. If you want a guy that drives, it won't be me. Won't be me. So if they would walk away, then okay, I know what was the reason. Yeah, I was very upfront about. No, I don't fancy cars. It's kind of strange now for guys. Like I
It
hate cars.
is.
I hate DIY. Actually, my girlfriend does all the works, or I pay for some because we just moved to a new place. I really hate like pragmatic things because I'm very much intellectual and creative myself. So I know what I'm good at. So it's not a matter of despise or this is like peasant job. I just think that the roles of men and women should be the same as team. No, everyone should do what they're better at, because
You
then it's
definitely need to
pessoal,
complement
no?
each other. Yeah. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
yes. Like someone is better at, I don't know, negotiating the energy bill, then I do it because I think I'm relatively good at talking. So I just
Right.
go on the phone and I speak for like, I don't know, 20 minutes with a salesperson and try to get the best deal. I wouldn't dare to
Okay,
cook.
next time
'Cause
you are hiring you to do that for me because I don't do that.
No problem, no problem. We can arrange a deal here. We can arrange a deal. So I think it should be that. You should understand what's your position, and if you are not trying to strive, let's say countries, like neighbor countries of Israel, they have no aspirations. They live in the Stone Age. They are only going backwards. So if your neighbor is investing, if your neighbor is risking, if your neighbor is learning, developing, expanding new skills, just accept that, and that's fine. Don't
Yeah.
just curse on what they are doing or try to stop them. It's and I think it's real for everyone else. People hate to see Israel progressing as country, the economy just booming, despite all the peace
Yeah,
issues they have.
for sure.
Despite of that, because if we will have the problems they have, we will starve. That's the reality. We will be at the most, we will starve.
100% sure. Like I was in Israel through JNF USA's volunteering program just after the war broke out, a couple of months after actually. And I go to Israel, and even though obviously you could sense the tragedy, these people were still going and doing and surviving. And when I talked with a person who was from one of the kibbutzim and lost dozens of friends on one day, and she said, of course, I'm in pain, but I need to wake up and I need to do. And then I come back to the US and I feel like people, even if there is no Wi-Fi for 1 hour, people are ready to lynch the other person. So it's like the difference. And something, let's mention here that's often disregarded as a fact, the creation of the Palestinian people as such. So yeah, they were Arabs, but Palestine and Palestinian identity, we both, I think we are on the same page on this, that it's a contemporary invention, so to say.
Yeah.
So from the 1960s, there was a people who did the making. And why? Because they saw that deserted little place that prior to that was literally nothing under the British Empire and the Turks and stuff. It was desert and desert and desert. There is this group of people who can make it strive. They bring in water, they become rich from this poor land. And again, jealousy kicked in. So they said, okay, we are a people here also. We lived here and we want this. We want part of this. But the moment they got Gaza City in 2005, which now could be the second Dubai, and people are laughing when you say that because, again, they don't know that it really could be. So they were, served on a silver platter, this richness. Even that got destroyed. Because why? It goes back to what you said. As a human being, like we can be jealous, but sometimes we get what our neighbor has. And because we don't have the abilities, we just destroy even what we got. So for me, it's super important to emphasize to people that the Palestinian people, if they would really want it, they could have such a good life by now. But somehow they enjoy, and I'm very careful with this word, enjoy this victimized situation.